Hi, this is Mark with ValueCharts.com. We're seeing a fairly sizable correction today in crude oil. Daily crude oil prices are down about a little over $2 a barrel, about $2.30 a barrel. And it looks like we could be coming back down to test around this trend line here. Don't be surprised if we get a very close test to that, but certainly as we see crude oil prices come down into the moderately undervalued level, in my opinion, this represents a fairly strategic, fairly good longer term buying opportunity. Now, what I prefer to do in situations like this is drill down to shorter term time frames like 120, 240 minute, 60 minute, etc., to try to find strategic entries based on this. So, in my mind, what we're seeing with the action in crude oil right now might suggest that we might get a kind of a bottoming in momentum here potentially, and then a little support possibly on this downtrend line, and then possibly a turnaround at some point here over the next couple of weeks to potentially go up and test this upper trend line here. So I'm bullish crude oil longer term. This has been part of a consolidation correction period that we've been going through. Don't be surprised to see crude oil prices really start to spring to life here over the next couple of weeks, and don't be surprised to see this point that I'm pointing at with today's price bar having dipped down into moderately undervalued on a weekly basis represent a fairly good buying opportunity. You can see a lot of times when that's happened in the past, these have been nice buying opportunities like right here, and then going back to the week obviously of the December 16th and then December 23rd as well, and then also in February 3rd as well. So, and then back here as well. Sometimes these moderately undervalued price points, if we have a bull market environment, and there again we're making the assumption that we are in the beginning stages of a potential bull market environment, but you can see a lot of these moderately undervalued price points on the weekly price bars do represent potential strategic longer term entry points. Even right here in a situation where we're starting to slide down, prices did bounce back temporarily as much as $5 a barrel from these points and did consolidate a bit before the slide. Now, one thing to remember is just because prices are moderately undervalued does not mean that you should buy, because you might experience a value migration. Here we see a fairly large sell-off. We see momentum picking up to the downside, and we see that a lot of moderately undervalued and significantly undervalued trading here, which is exactly what we would expect to see when we enter a value migration period. So that's all we have for this video. Just keep in mind that we could find support here. We might be in for a nice longer term turning point, finding a bottom here over the next week or two, and then having some potential after that to the upside. But as always, we are listening to the crude oil market and constantly watching for what this market is telling us. Thanks for watching.